baby, I hate to go, but it's getting late and your boy got to hit the road. And every time we part, no, it breaks my heart. So it's good night, baby, sweet little baby, good night.
When the morning comes, I'll be gone 100 miles. Think of me, honey, you know you're gonna smile. Then you start feeling glad about all the good times we had. Good night, baby, sweet little baby, good night. Good night, good night, good night, good night. Good night, baby, sweet little baby, good night. Good night, good night, good night, good night. Sweet little baby, good night.
I love the way that you say goodnight to me. Woo-hoo.
I'm lost like a ship sailing on a stormy sea. Oh, that's me.
Well, I'm standing on the corner, sitting in a small cafe.
Start up a thinking about the way
That you hold me tight,
the way that you kiss goodnight.
all of a sudden I wanna leave right away. Good night, good night, good night, good night. Well, it's a good night, baby, sweet little baby, good night. Yeah, 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 good night, good night, good night, good night.
Good night, baby, sweet little baby, good night.
Yeah, 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 good night, good night, good night, good night. Well, good night, baby, sweet little baby, good night. Yeah, 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 good night, good night, good night, good night.
Good night, baby, sweet little baby, good night.
Good night, good night, good night, good night. Oh, sweet little baby, good night.
This is Ezra Lee saying good night. I say, what's up, baby? You're gonna miss me when I'm gone.